Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. April Jasper, and I'm here with Dr. Marc Bloomenstein. And we are at the Reichert booth, but this is Vision Expo West. We're super excited to be here broadcasting live, and we have some fun conversation to have today, right, Marc?
Yes, fun.
But I think first they want to know who you are, where you're from, about your practice. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Dr. Marc Bloomenstein, as you said, thank you for saying that right. More importantly, I practice in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it's a ophthalmology practice, but we do a lot of primary care. We do post-operative care. We see a lot of patients, keeping it real.
Well, that goes right to my first question. In what ways do you and should we differentiate our practice?
That is a great question. I mean, the one thing that I love about our profession is that we're very altruistic. I mean, I know that if I came out to Florida and I said, April, hey, I'm having a problem, you'd be able to tell me how to get through it. But we also want patients to come to our practices and feel something different and unique. One of the things that we do is we pride ourselves in setting our patients in an experience that is different than everybody else. And mainly by utilizing new equipment, by having modern technology, modern diagnostics to provide a more unique experience.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is you want to elevate that experience, and patients expect something different and new every year, don't they?
100%. I mean, the exciting thing for us, and this is what the surgeon I work with, is he's always looking, what's the next technology?
Yeah.
And we want our patients to come in and know that if there's something new and exciting, something that's just out of the norm, that they're going to see it in our practice.
Well, we're standing right here in front of a digital phoropter. So tell me what you have been thinking about how that's elevated that experience for you.
So, obviously, Reichert is the ones who invented the phoropter. I think it was 100 years ago.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I think they're celebrating 100 years of the phoropter. But more importantly, is that, for us as optometrists, we've acclimated ourselves to using the phoropter one or two. But when you get a patient and you slide in a digital phoropter, and you're standing across the room looking at them, and they hear the machinations of the phoropter going, it's kind of like something different. But more importantly, what it does is it allows us to be a little bit more accurate and a little bit more precise. And the last thing I'll tell you is this: it really does allow the staff to have a little bit more efficiency.
That's what I was going to ask. I mean, that is the other thing that's important. Our staff are very important to us. We know we can't provide that experience without our team. So how does a digital phoropter and this whole process affect your patient flow and that experience?
Oh gosh, it actually enhances the patient flow. We have our phoropter integrated to a lensometer and an autorefractor. So they will go in, get the autorefraction, get the lensometry, and then by the time they get into the lane, the autorefraction and the lensometry are there.
Right.
So one of the really great aspects of it is that transposition, writing things down is taken away, but with a hit, a touch of a button.
Right.
You can switch between here's your old glasses, here's the new prescription we're on offer. So not only does it enhance, not only does it make it more efficient, but we've also seen more sale in our optical because patients see the difference without it having to be put your glasses on, check it through the phoropter.
So my argument also is for this technology that I feel like patients' perception of the accuracy of the results that we get might be different. What do you think about that?
No, I totally agree. I mean, you're saying from the phoropter versus the digital phoropter.
Right, exactly.
I mean, there's this perception that when it's automated or when it's somehow through a computer, it's got to be better than just one or two, which is still fun.
And I'm sure there's people out there that can do a refraction the old-fashioned way and do a great job. But I really believe that I need the workflow change as well as that patient experience. Their perception is just different. I'm sure they think surgery is even better, which could be.
Yeah. Well, for me, the other thing too that I love about the digital phoropter is the chart that's associated with it.
Yes.
I say that, I know that sounds just kind of like, well, that's being able to isolate a letter, being able to change the lines, being able, and I can do it with a click of a button. And I feel sometimes, when we're so used to the Snellen and the patients come in, well, I memorize those lines. I go, really? I hit a button, change it up. I'm like, okay, well, that's different.
Right.
So it does. I think there's a psychological effect for the patient that this is different than the guy next door, but it's a little bit more precise and less predictable.
So I want to change the subject just a little bit. Same idea, a little different flow here. But what about remote refraction? What is the biggest benefit to remote refraction?
So, it's interesting. I don't think any of us in eye care ever thought what would happen if patients couldn't come into the office.
Yeah. When would that ever be a thing?
Until 2020.
Yep.
When, patients were a little bit afraid about coming in. But the other thing, too, is we had to really slow things down so patients weren't on top of each other.
Yep.
A opportunity to be able to utilize a phoropter while you're sitting remotely,
right,
where you have a patient go into a facility, there's maybe one person there, and you as a doctor are able to do the same type of refraction you did without them there. It's to me, I think it's definitely the future. And so, we actually see Reichert technology being able to do that now.
Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting is that in our practice, we are affiliated with one of the local MBA teams, and we have to go down and do physicals.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things that they want is, well, what if I need classes? And so being able to have that in their facility without us actually having to be there, we can do it digitally.
That's a great point.
So,
oh, wow. I love that. Well, you mentioned that it's the 100th year anniversary of the Phoropter, and Reichert is the one that made it all happen.
Thank
So
you,
I know exactly. What's the importance of this milestone?
For me,
Yeah.
it's the fact that I don't have to pull out my trial lens set. I totally respect anybody who deals with specialty contacts, who deals with keratocontic patients, but part of the reason, the original Phoropter, was so great is because it had all those lenses in there. We were able to go in there, and the truth of the matter is that that's even limited because you start getting these really high corrections,
Right.
which is where now we've taken the trial lens set, the Phoropter, to using the VMAX where we have here, kind of do
Right.
more.
It's a lot. In 100 years, look where we are. One of those times in life when...
Do you ever sometimes feel, though, that it's been 100 years since you've been practicing? It's like, it's been 100 years. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I haven't been around that long,
Yeah,
but yes, thank you, Reichert. So where can all the people that are listening, we've got viewers that are not here at Expo, so if they are, they can come here to the booth and talk to Reichert today. But what other options do they have to learn more about digital refraction?
Well, obviously, they can go to any publication,
Optometric Management.
Optometric Management, whether it be digital or other, because Reichert is a huge supporter of optometry.
Yes.
I think, when you brought that back about 100 years, I feel that optometry and Reichert are integrated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like that 100 years is celebrating us as a profession because vision is so important to what we do, and the Phoropter is so important to how we get to that.
Yeah.
But Reichert.com would be another great place to go if you go find it in Optometric Management.
So Marc, any parting words for our viewers today?
My only parting word is, is that we're managing patients differently than we did before.
Yes.
And I think that if you're in a practice, that maybe once a year, just say to yourself, what can I do to enhance my practice to make the management of my patients easier but more advanced?
I love it. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Marc, for being here with me. And of course, we both are thanking Reichert for all they've done for optometry, and we want to celebrate with them 100 years of the Phoropter.
And let's hope we can do this again another 100 years.
Exactly. Who knows?